I got a
that's not it.
Pro Controller knockoff. Like I was asking you earlier, Bryce, can you call it a knockoff?
That was the right link, Rick.
Huh?
You
That was
clicked
it?
the right thing. Yeah.
Can you call it a knockoff if all the parts come from the same country as the official ones?
Yeah.
So this is $30 on their website. I got it for $25 off Amazon, including tax. And it is a Pro Controller alternative. There's like two things I can say about this controller that I don't like, and I'll save that for the end. But first, I want to talk about how good it feels.
Okay.
It's lighter than a Pro Controller. But did you ever have the translucent controllers back in the day?
Thanks for joining us, Louie.
Feel
free to come back next week.
Whatever console. They always had translucent controllers, like a PlayStation. You had a translucent controller, right?
Yeah, I've seen them. I've never had one, but
those always felt lighter than the regular ones because it's different plastic. That's essentially what this feels like, because mine, the one I have, like they have the frosted plastic on the Pro Controller. The entire controller is translucent, so you can see everything in the controller, which is really fucking dope.
Mm-hmm.
But it's black still.
Right.
So it looks
through a bit on the Pro Controller too.
Yeah, just on the top, just a little bit.
Yeah.
But like you can see the motor spinning, you can see everything on this controller, and I really dig that. It's USB-C, which I didn't expect, which I think is fucking rad.
Yeah, that's cool.
And it comes with the charging cable.
Mm-hmm.
The battery life, they claim 3 to 5 hours. I've played 2 nights in a row with it for 4 to 5 hours, and it hasn't died on me.
Nice.
So that's a good thing. But it's really light because it's that translucent plastic, so it's thinner plastic. Plus, the battery is a lot smaller than the Pro Controller battery, which again, I rarely play for 5 hours or more anyway, so I don't think that's gonna affect me. And just like my DualShocks, I plug those in after I'm get done playing anyway, because they can charge passively through the consoles.
I don't like where the home button is.
On top?
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like an Xbox One controller. Pizza! That's exactly what this thing looks like. If you Google image search Xbox One controller, it looks exactly like an Xbox One controller. If you feel like $70
is that what you look like while using the controller?
Oh yeah, just as good as I do.
Yeah.
If you like $70 for a Pro Controller, a licensed Pro Controller is too much, and you want a wireless controller, and this is in the same price range as the Power A licensed ones that are wired, that don't have any of the features in them at all. That's literally just the controller.
Yeah.
But this has rumble. This does everything the Pro Controller does with the exception of NFC, which I don't have any Amiibo, so I don't use that anyway.
And HD Rumble, right?
Huh?
And it locks the
and
HD
Rumble. But the only games that really take advantage of that are the first-party games anyway. Because even Luminous Remastered, that supposedly takes advantage of the HD Rumble in the Joy-Con and the Pro Controller, still just feels like a fucking rumbling mess when you play it. So I just turn the rumbling off in the game. So it's a very subtle thing that doesn't work in most games, honestly. It's just rumble, okay, it's off. So, I mean, like I said, Mario, Zelda, Mario Kart, those use the HD Rumble great.
Yeah.
But basically everything else is just on and off. But yeah, it's comfortable as all hell. The thumbsticks are concaved and they're smooth on the inside, but they have like ridges around the outside. So your thumb catches right here, but when your thumb is actually sitting in the sticks, it's smooth, so it feels comfortable.
Yeah.
Like the movement, it's brand new, so the sticks are nice and tight. The triggers are analog, which is weird, but they engage as soon as you make any kind of movement.
Yeah. I wish Nintendo would go back to
analog. Or the old.
Or wait, the triggers are analog, not digital?
Yeah.
Why?
Just because that's the style of controller they made.
That's interesting. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how that would even be used.
Well, I mean, it's like I said, as soon as you engage it, the slightest bit, it triggers.
Yeah.
So it actually, for a couple of the characters that don't have automatic weapons, that have semi-auto weapons, it's actually easier for me to feather that than it is the clicky button, because I could literally just go like that, and it'll trigger every time. And again, that's not knocking the triggers or anything on the Pro Controller or the Joy-Con. Those feel great too.
Yeah.
But just something about that feels really familiar, and knowing that I don't have to bury the trigger every time I use it.
I mean, I've always preferred analog anyways, but yeah.
And the ZL and ZR buttons on top feel so good because they click so satisfyingly. Like It's a loud click, and one of the things that people complain about this controller is how loud the buttons are. But I love it. I know I've hit that fucking button.
Yeah.
And what?
It's totally kind of sort of off topic.
Yeah.
ZL
ZR.
and ZR. Why is it named Z?
Because it
L
was
and ZR. Was that it on the
N64
controller?
was the Z button on the back.
They call it the Z button, and so then the L and R is like left and right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, that was it. I just wanted to know if it was because like calling back to like the older controllers.
Yeah, to
okay.
the N64 Z button.
Gotcha. Okay, that's all.
But yeah, man, the buttons are nice and big. Like, it basically feels like a Pro Controller in my hands, except it's a little lighter, but not flimsy. Does that make sense? So I love it.
I wish you brought it.
I was going to. I'll bring it next week so you can
just
feel it.
I would have liked to feel both side by side.
Yeah. The two things about it that are put-offs.
I already know this, so you could aim this over it.
The plastic is thinner, so when the motors spin up for the rumble, like if you have the controller sitting down, if you're not holding it, it sounds like the thing is gonna fucking explode because there's not a lot of weight to the controller, so it just immediately starts going like bouncing around. And it's like, all right, well, let me hold it. But when you're holding it, it feels and sounds fine. And that's like the biggest functionality knock I have of the controller. The other thing that is god awful, you see that home button, Rick? The home button, you see how the outside it looks silverish?
Yeah.
Well, it's not. It's clear. There's an LED light behind it to let you know what player you are. 1, 2, 3, or 4, right?
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Just like an Xbox controller. But instead of being a nice, minimal, dim green, it's a fucking bright LED light. And it's clear plastic around it. I took pictures of the LED light that I'm going to show you at how bright it is. I showed Bryce because it was fucking hilarious how bright it is. To where I play with at night because everybody's in bed and that's when I play. And the lights are off and the only light is coming from the television set. So when the television set goes black because something is loading in, if I glance, I don't even have to move my head down, Rick. If I just kind of like glance my eyes down, this is what I see in my eyes.
Oh my god.
So then I took a picture of it with the TV backlight so you can still see how bright it is.
That's pretty bright.
And
you
then,
gotta email me the pictures.
Yeah, I will. And then I took one. The first one I purposely didn't want the lens to focus, so it would show you how bright it was. But you see the hue on my hand of color? There's no other light on in the room. That's the hue of light coming from the controller button right there.
It's cool.
It's super bright. It is not cool.
And you can't shut it off?
No.
That sucks.
That's kind of cool.
It hurts my eyes. So what I'm probably going to end up doing, I'm just going to go to Michael's and get a black paint marker and just fill in that right there.
Yeah.
It's too much fucking light, man. Too much light.
But overall, you're happy with it.
Yeah, I love it, man.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen the Smash Edition Pro Controller?
Yeah,
I have.
That thing's pretty cool looking, like the black and the white. I like how that
It definitely looks pretty cool. I'm not a Smash guy.
Well, I mean, I'm not either.
I'm not either, but
I think the controller looks pretty dope.
Yeah. But that's my Paladin stuff. So my Paladin's experience, my experience with their customer service, and the reason I bought this Pro Controller was because of that. I wanted to play Paladins and be more comfortable.
Yeah.
And it definitely is way more comfortable.
Cool, man.
I dig it a lot.
Well, I'm glad it worked out for you. And like I said, if nothing else, if you ever get a second controller, you'd have both. You can get a Pro one day.
Yeah.
If that ever comes down to it. Like I said, it's not really like, $23, like you've got nothing to lose. It gets you something now.
Yep.
If it ends up being shit or, you don't like it, nothing's stopping you from getting the real deal down the road if that ever were to happen. You know? So it was a win-win. Or maybe you get a second one of those. So
maybe.
Who knows?
He gave me shit for buying used
Used what?
Used games from Nintendo. And he's like,
I did?
no, buy the games and give them the money. And here you are buying an off-brand controller.
Because that controller is overpriced.
How if you get it on sale?
I understand the technology that's in it. I get that. But I'm not going to be using the shit that makes it extra.
Well, the battery is nice.
Yeah.
The battery's nice.
Anyway.